I'm working on an original English light novel, also known as an OELN. However, I did stumble across a small little problem. It was a plot hole actually, and I wouldn't have gotten it discovered if it wasn't for my editor. Personally, I feel it's important to have one, and today I'm going to be explaining why and which editor did I use to help me overcome this hurdle. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Nyisha here, and welcome to my channel. If you are new, hey, nice to see you. Here I have reviews of my favorite things, whether nostalgic or current, my theme park adventures, and more. Today I want to talk about the small situation that I finally resolved for my English light novel, Knights of Iran. Back in 2022, I wrote Knights of Iran and published it online. Not only did it have more than 2,000 views, I actually had the opportunity to work with web novel. However, I felt that there was something missing, and so I decided to take the time to plot and outline the story. And now that it's finally finished, and with a little bit of self-editing, I decided that this route I'm going to go with a professional editor. Now, when looking for an editor, there are various types. Developmental editors focus on plot structures, character arcs, and the overall story. And what they do is they will ask questions if there is something that they don't understand, or they will make suggestions on things that needed to be in there. Sometimes they'll add a little sentence in there. Other times they want you, the writer, to fill out whatever is missing in that scene. Then you have line editors who refine the prose, the style, and flow of your story. Then you have copy editors who almost do the same thing as line editors, but they help revise your sentences to make sure that it is clear and organized for readers. And finally, you have proofreaders. They're the ones that consist of fixing errors in grammar, spelling, and punctuation. The good thing is there are editors everywhere. For example, Readsy. You can find not only different types of editors, but you can even find one that can do all four to save you time. Which of course comes with a price, because editors aren't cheap. The longer the manuscript, the more expensive it gets. Take a developmental editor, for example. Let's say that you submit a 60,000 word story, and they price you at about maybe 3 to 8 cents. You're looking at $1,800 to $4,800. Whereas for proofreaders, you're looking at only $100 to $500. So remember, it's all based on the editors and their experience. So there is a lot to research when looking for your editor. And yes, I get it. It's a lot of money to hire an editor, but from what I've experienced so far, it is worth every cent. These guys painstakingly take the time to look at your first draft to make sure that readers could understand what you are expressing in your world. And in return, this is helping me to improve on my writing skills, as their suggestions have been very helpful. So I am going down the list in which I have started with a developmental editor because I'm a new author. I'm a new writer. So I feel a lot more comfortable knowing that there is someone who's going over my work and helping me to understand what's missing and what needs to be added on. And I've also developed a thick skin too, because there were a lot of questions that I had when going over my stuff. For example, are feedbacks from an editor important? Absolutely. Because this helps you as a writer improve on your skills, because these guys have seen so many manuscripts, they honestly know what they're doing. Critiques from your editor should not steer you away from writing. In fact, it should encourage you. And feel free to ask questions if you don't understand why they suggest these things. Which comes to the next question. Should you take an editor's advice? Well, that really depends on you. For example, let's say that there was a part in your story that you really liked, but then the editor just went through it with a red line and just changed everything. Well, again, this is your book. So if you don't feel that the editor is understanding your work, or you don't like the approach that they went, you could change it yourself, or you can probably work on top of that, because again, it's your book. In fact, what I like to do is sometimes I like to read it out loud, and if it works, I keep it. If not, I'll tweak it just a little bit, or I'll just stick to what I wrote originally. Because again, this is your book. So after you are done with the developmental editor and you've cleaned up your work, what's next? Should you continue on with a line or copy editor? Again, that choice is yours and yours alone. Sometimes people just need that developmental editor and just continue on with the proofreading and then turn in the story. Other times, people just do all of them. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm just going to be going down the list until I feel comfortable that it is ready. And of course, I'll have beta readers to look it over and see what the overall end result will be. What if I can't afford an editor? Well, do what I do. Save up. And if not, find an editor that can work with your budget. For example, Reedsy. Reedsy has editors that will work with you based on what you are able to give. And if you don't choose Reedsy and you go and research an editor out there, just be careful about sketchy editors. I remember one time I came across one on Fiverr that was offering $60 for 5,000 words, which I think is equivalent to a chapter or so. And I thought the price was good, and I gave them a sample test run. They sent me a request that was outside of the business relationship that we developed via Fiverr, and it did not feel very comfortable moving forward with that. So on top of that, they didn't have their own website. Their picture looked AI generated. So it was a little hard for me to trust, as red flags was just popping, in my mind. Overall, this has been quite the experience, but I'm excited for it because everything about this is coming into fruition. And of course, I love a challenge. Not only do I want to create an English light novel, I want to make a webtoon adaptation. Hell, why not try and push to make it into an anime? My inspirations came from Disney, cartoon shows from the Western era, and anime. And stuff like that makes me want to push, or dare I say it, go the distance. As I stated in the past, I mentioned that I wanted to go self-publishing because I would like to have a physical copy in my hands, or even make digital available for people. And then of course, I would have it posted online for other viewers to see. I also plan to have a community built for this series. In the end, I hope that I can capture readers that love those fantasy world-building stories, those action-adventure moments, and create memorable characters. To wrap things up, editing is a crucial part in the writing world. Whether it's a regular novel, a biography, or even a light novel. It helps to address those common issues like plot holes, pacing problems, and character development flaws. If you can't afford an editor, that's okay. Just write, post, and in the meantime, save up for your next story. And if you feel like you don't need an editor, that's fine too. There are plenty of books out there that people have published that are still great and they never used an editor. So, for all you English light novel authors out there, let me know your experience. Did you hire an editor? Did you self-edit yourself and post it online? Do you plan on hiring an editor in the future? Leave those comments below. And if you haven't yet, please click on the like button, subscribe, and share to fellow English light novel authors. Because every little bit helps. It helps my channel, and it also draws YouTube's algorithms to more authors that are interested in learning about editing. And if you're curious about Knights of Iran, I released the pre-edited draft of the first chapter for free on my Patreon page. And feel free to follow up on news and updates about the series, whether it's here or my other social medias. You will find the Linktree link in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.